Mold money. Should you really consider DIY mold remediation? Well, I reviewed this book to share with you my thoughts on it. If you've read my book, Poisoned, Failed by Western Medicine, Modern Construction, and Corporate Interests, then you know I don't trust the experts because the experts almost killed me. There were literally hundreds of experts, including the so-called best in the nation / potentially the world, and they almost killed me. I had to figure everything out myself. So do I trust the experts? Should you trust mold remediation experts? Probably not. Dave is the other half here, non-toxic home, actually almost interviewed at one mold remediation company in Indianapolis, Indiana. He happened to be in the area. He had an interview scheduled. He happened to be in the area, decided to drive by and see if he really wanted to interview with them. The structure that their headquarters was at, the sheer amount of water damage was incredible. So do you really want to get your information as to what you should do from companies like that? Because that's not the only mold remediation company that, they're headquartered in Mold Central. Unfortunately, a lot of mold remediation companies are deceitful. If you own a business, then you know that the best business is repeat business. Well, that's not how we function here at Non-Toxic Home, which is why we're not millionaires and why we don't have a ton of money. But we'd rather people be healthy and be able to use their money how they want to use it rather than be repeat customers. At the same time, it costs more money to initially address a root problem in some cases. So in some cases, it's cheaper to get mold remediation that isn't actually remediating anything than it is to fix the actual issue, such as, a leaking roof. If the whole roof is shot, then, it might be cheaper to have a mold remediation company do something with one wall where it's seen. That's not going to address the issue, but it will ensure a repeat customer for that mold remediation company. Now, the author of Mold Money here, Daniel Stih, I don't know if that's how you say his name or not. It's clear he's got a good heart. He wants to, as good of a heart as he can have, scripturally speaking. Didn't mean to bring the Bible in here, can't help it. Quite apparent that his writing is not one who is called to that sort of thing. Okay, it's not his trade for sure. I find it rather difficult to read, as some reviews mention online, because there are some cases where he's talking about one thing and then all of a sudden he's talking about something else, and I have to go back and say, what, did I miss something? Because in some cases it seems like I missed something contextually, but there's nothing in there as to context. So if you have some brain fog, mental issues, etc., due to mold, have mold fog, we've got a video up on, brain fog, by the way. It's called The Battle for Your Mind, I believe. It's not you. If you're reading this and you go, wait, what just happened? How are we talking about this? What did I miss? It's not you. Okay, I just want to share that. I just wanted to tell you that his discussion of insurance in this book was pre-technocracy. Dave has dealt with insurance companies, some in his handyman services, and what is shared in this book was before technocracy really took over the insurance industry. And of course, it's still infiltrating it. It's not completely done yet. So the insurance issues are a bit different now. But that's not a criticism at all. And, my discussion of that I've already shared about that writing isn't his calling isn't a criticism. Writing isn't the calling of everyone. That's okay. That's fine. I just want you to know it's not you if you get confused about what he's talking about sometimes. I very much agree with him about mycotoxin testing. Mycotoxin testing, it's useless, and I've shared for years that it's useless. You know, before we offered consultations, we had some people reach out to our Facebook page asking about, you know, mycotoxin tests, and I would say, don't buy that house. There's something else going on. And then they would do further, I don't know, inspections or whatever, and they'd find something terrible, 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 and I'd say, well, yeah, I know. No one is going to pay to test for every mycotoxin. No one's going to pay to test for every single mold spore out there. Honestly, with the times that we're living in, I anticipate that we probably haven't identified all the species of mold. So how could you test for that which you haven't identified yet? And I agree with him. Mold remediation is what it is regardless of the species of mold. So if you know there's mold, it's pointless to test. That's not going to help any. It's still mold. Bleach is also pointless, as he discusses, and it's ineffective on mold. Just because you bleached it, that doesn't mean it's gone. It just means that you bleached it. He does seem to be upselling a bit for the courses on his website. And I don't like that in books, quite frankly. Again, this isn't a criticism. This is just a review, just an honest review. I will link to it below. I bought this from Barnes & Noble. I'm chemically sensitive, and I do tolerate some books from Barnes & Noble, some I don't. I will also link to Amazon, eBay. I don't tolerate secondhand books myself. Some people tolerate secondhand books better. I definitely don't tolerate books from Amazon personally. His chapters are written more like blog posts with lots of headlines and spaces, so it makes the book look longer than it actually really truly is. Just in case you're thinking that it looks like a long book to you, it's actually much shorter than it appears due to all of the headlines and extra spaces. It as I've already alluded to, it doesn't flow well, but like I said, it's clear this is not his writing is not his calling, and that's fine. He's sharing his experience, sharing his information, and I absolutely applaud that. Water or moisture is the problem. I need to be clear here. A lot of people get confused about mold. Like, mold's the problem. No, mold isn't the problem, because mold spores are everywhere. You cannot have a mold-free home. It is literally impossible. There are going to be mold spores in your home. The problem is water. The problem is moisture. That's the problem. I very much agree with him not to mess with self-tests or lab tests. I personally would also suggest that tests from mold inspectors are a waste of money as well. I would also avoid anyone who does testing and remediation, as he suggested. I know he definitely recommends a lot of mold or some certain tests. I don't trust those. I don't trust those tests. They are not sensitive enough, in my personal opinion. Now today, since 2020, material quality has plummeted. Like, for example, old growth cedar used to be mold resistant, now it's not. New wood exposed to the elements is even worse. You know, we have used concrobium ourselves to help prevent mold when we're building things outside that can't be protected immediately. You know, if we're building a structure not under a tent, not under a construction tent, then we have, you know, sprayed concrobium on the wood to prevent mold when we can't prevent it from getting wet in the rain and the weather. That does seem to work to prevent mold growth. A lot of people who are chemically sensitive do okay with concurbium, but that can be different for you, of course. Now, this is not professional information or advice. Consult your favorite mold person for professional expert advice. Let's see. Oh, one thing that really bothers me about this book is that there's only 1.5 pages on addressing the root cause of mold water. But at the same time, his focus isn't root causes, his focus is mold. So I can sort of understand that. But the root causes are the problem. The pipe leaks are the problem. The water intrusion is the problem. The lack of proper flashing around roof protrusions is the problem. A leaking toilet is the problem. A leaking septic pipe into a slab foundation is the problem. Improper ventilation, that condensation as a result of improper ventilation, that's the problem. Water is the problem. That's not his specialty, it seems. Rather, mold is his specialty. So I can't understand that, but I think that it would have been wise to offer a bit more of a focus on that, because a lot of people, what my concern is with this book, which I do recommend this book, Mold Money. My concern is that a lot of people are going to remediate, or maybe already have, but not fix the root problem. Because the focus needs to be on the root problem and then the mold. Spraying chemicals is not the answer. Treating the mold is not the answer. You have to remove the mold physically. Most people are going to criticize you if you do it correctly. This is correct. Most people are going to criticize you. Handymen, construction people, mold remediation companies are going to say that's wrong. You're doing it wrong. Or that's overkill. You don't need to do that. They have no idea what they're talking about. Remember, the experts almost killed me. I wrote a book about how the experts almost killed me. I trusted the experts. Don't trust them. This is indeed a trustworthy book. Just remember that you need to address the root cause of the problem, which is water. There is one other thing I want to mention that I disagree with. He insists that mycelium can only, so I disagree. He states that mycelium can only grow about a hair's depth into a surface. That is definitely not the case. 'Cause we've had wood go moldy outside, and we've sanded it off. And some you can rescue, some of it you can't. So I'm not sure why he would say it can only go a hair's depth on a surface, because that's not true. So I don't know. Our experience states quite otherwise. So I don't understand why he says that, and I definitely disagree with that. But at the same time, as I said, I do recommend this book. I'll link to it below, and those will be mostly affiliate links. Some will, some won't. If you want to learn more about health, about the times in which we're living in, about my journey and the things that help me and have helped me on this healing journey, we have probably hundreds of posts on our website. We have hundreds of videos posted that you can peruse. We have a free newsletter that goes out weekly or less, and we have one book out right now. We have more books that are coming There is lots of information. If you're living in mold, there is indeed hope. I want to encourage you to take control of your life and of your health, because if you don't, someone who is not trustworthy will. You need to have this information yourself so that you can make the right decisions, so that you don't have to spend tons of money over and over and over and over and over again. Do it once, fix the problem, do it right, move on with your life. Until next time, Non-Toxic out.